Somalia has won a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, hailed as a significant step for the war-torn nations. You see, when African countries are celebrating that they have won a seat to sit in an organization that were founded that works for the interests of their former colonial master, pre-colonial master, invisible handchains colonial masters, you in fact I am only but amazed, because you forget that at the end of the day these people founded this organization to exploit you for their own benefit. So they are just bringing you to the table because you have something to offer, because if you have nothing to offer them, you will not be there. The day African countries start finding organizations that represent African interests, funding it completely by African nations without outside interference, it is only but then when African countries get a seat in such organizations that are fully founded by Africans, fully funded and supported by Africans, that represent 100% Africans' interests. It is until then we will start clapping for such countries when they are celebrating that they have gotten the right or a seat to sit in such organizations, but not organizations that are founded and that works only for the interests of our colonizers or people that kept our continent where it is. It will be the first time the country, which descended into civil war more than 30 years ago, has held the position since the 1970s. So it will be the first time the country which descended into civil war more than 30 years ago. So it means that for 30 years Somalia have been doing some things, taking some steps on the path of peace for them just to get this seat. At the end of the day, you ask yourself, by getting these seats, what does it add to them? Yes, does it help in ending the war? Do you know how many United Nations peacekeepers or European peacekeepers or African Union peacekeepers that have been sent to Somalia for in these 30 years to stop this war? Did the war stop? The answer is no. Rather, you see that these wars are even sometimes are getting far worse than it was before these people came in to offer their help. The top table at the UN determines how the organization should respond to conflicts around the world. So, you see, then tell me, if there's any war in any country where there's nothing to benefit, will these Western organizations send their military or whatsoever to go there to help? The answer is no. They only go where they have something to gain. The earlier Africans start understanding that the better for everybody in Africa. Analysts say Somalia's battle to bring an end to its turmoil and its fight against Islamist militias will help inform the UN's decisions. Okay, time will tell. There are 10 rotational non-permanent members on the council, along with the 5 permanent members: the US, the UK, France, China, and Russia. You see, these 5 countries are permanent members: the US, the UK, France, China, and Russia. The rest members are rotational. To win a seat which carries much influence in the world affairs, a country needs to secure the support of at least 2/3 of the General Assembly delegations that are voting. So before any country can become a member in this United Nations Security Council, you need to win at least 2/3 of the voting assembly delegations. So if you don't get the 2/3 of the voting assembly delegations, you won't be eligible to join this union. Somalia was elected along with Denmark, Greece, Pakistan, and Panama to serve for 2 years on the seat. Somalia has won a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, hailed as a significant step for the war-torn country. This is wonderful. We applaud them. We are happy for them. But at the end of the day, it is only the end that justifies the means. It backed the seat allocated to East African region unopposed and went on to win 179 votes in a secret ballot in the 193-member General Assembly. So Somalia won 179 votes out of 193 votes for them to win this seat, which is still rotational. Following the vote, Somalia's Foreign Affairs Minister who led a delegation to Somali officials to New York, said the country will now take up its position on the global stage. So, taking your position at the global stage and being a member of United Nations Security Council does not solve your problem. Yes, you need to sit on a round table with every rebel or militia groups, every people that feels they are being marginalized. You listen to everybody's interest. Compromise is what will end the war in Somalia or in any part of the world. When people start putting their countries first, when people look far beyond their personal gain, overcome their greed, that is the first step on ending any war. Yes, it's not about joining United Nations Security Council or any council. We stand ready to play a vital role in promoting peace and security in the world, he said. The ousting of Mohamed Saad Barre as Somali president in 1991 sparked a decades-long civil war between rival clan warlords. So when their former leader was ousted in 1991, it plunged this country into a decades of war between rival clan warlords. So you see, over the years, the UN and African Union have played key roles in helping to re-establish a central authority, which did not work either. Yes, Somalia has also been battling the Islamist militia group Al-Shabaab, which still controls larger parts of the country. The Al-Qaeda-aided fighters want to topple the central government and establish their own rule based on the strict interpretation of Islamic laws. In recent months, the government has intensified its fight against the group as foreign troops withdraw and pass the baton on the Somali army. So, it's only time will tell if Somalia getting a temporary seat in the United Nations has a way in contributing positively, which I wish it is, but if we are to work with facts on ground, if we are to acquaint ourselves with the modern day reality, but it is only time will tell. Yes.